Hey everyone, I want to do a video, kind of a fun video on bands that are named after body parts. I was scrolling through Instagram, which really means you're quickly scrolling through threads, and it came upon this topic that somebody started. And I'm going to mention his name because I do think that he should deserve credit for starting this topic. And that is, his handle is that Eric Calper. Eric with a C and Calper, Calper. His topic was, bands that are named after body parts. And it just seemed to get funnier and funnier as it went on. And of course, got dirtier and dirtier, especially as you get into pretty obscure punk bands. I'm going to keep this one somewhat clean because I'm going to look at the top 10 or a quick top 10 ranking from me of my favorite bands that are named after body parts. And none of them, even the Butthole Surfers, quite go to the top 10 for me. But here are the top 10 bands that are named after body parts. Number 10, Portishead. There was a time I really liked Portishead. I kind of forgot about Portishead, although I was reminded of Portishead last year when Beth Gibbons of Portishead put out her solo record. I listened to it once, maybe twice, and I did like it. And I just like so much music today, I forgot about it. So I want to go back and listen to that. I probably need to pick it up on vinyl. I've not done so, and try to get into it. But, maybe I'll just pick up some Portishead on vinyl since I don't have any. They're a band for me that are very much tied to the mid-90s. Loved their first record, Dummy. Loved the third one. I don't remember the second one, to be honest with you. And loved the live album that came out. So, yeah, I think Dummy's the one I'd like to hear again. Probably would look for that on vinyl. I did play that, I don't know, not that long ago, and I really liked it. So, yeah, Portishead at number 10. Sticking with the head. Let's go to the Motorhead. Lemmy Kilmister, what a great name. His band, Motorhead. I don't have Motorhead records. If you come over here, you're not going to see a bunch of Motorhead records. I think maybe my partner, the archivist, might have one. But the idea of Motorhead and what Motorhead was, and Lemmy automatically kind of just makes a list. Who doesn't love Ace of Spades? Who doesn't love him? And I'm not into that kind of music anymore, honestly. I just don't play that stuff very often at all. But yeah, Motorhead. Oh, someday I might get me some Motorhead, or go on a road trip and crank up some Motorhead. All right, number 8, Bright Eyes. Bright Eyes were a great band for me. I kind of lost interest in Bright Eyes a little bit over the last 10 years. I liked one of his solo records he did, Ruminations, I want to say. But for me, it's that Lifted, it's that era, it's Wide Awake. I'm Wide Awake, it's Morning. Absolutely love that record. I know it's probably everybody's favorite, I think for good reason. And I love, I really liked maybe one or two after that. But super talented guy, great band, Bright Eyes. Number 7, number 7 is the Shins from Seattle, this area. Kind of like Portishead to me in that they belong to an era. This isn't the mid-90s, this is the mid-2000s, like 2003 to 2007. I don't listen to the Shins very much at all anymore, but I have them on some playlists, or when they come on the radio, I really enjoy them, and probably am overdue to play at least those first 2 records again. Shoots Too Narrow and Oh Inverted World. Don't have either one on vinyl, but I might have to rectify that. Let's see, number 6, Heart. Heart is from Seattle as well, actually. They put Seattle, I think, along with Hendrix on the map musically, definitely for a female-fronted band. I think the Wilson sisters are amazing. I think that first record, Dreamboat Annie, is incredible. I like singles after that more than albums, although I do like Little Queenie quite a bit. I'm of the age where you got turned on to Heart through their self-titled record, and all the hits, What About Love and Never and all those songs. And then the one that kind of got me into them more, though, was actually the follow-up, Bad Animals. I think that's a much better record. You can listen to it all the way through, although I haven't in years. But I remember really, really liking that album, Bad Animals. And, that the song off that was Alone, which I still think is a pretty good song. So, yeah, Heart would definitely make my list. So far we've talked about the head and the eyes, and now we're going for the heart. And with number 5, we're going to the face with the Faces. Hell of a band from the 70s. Rod Stewart at his absolute best. His solo records are great around that time too. Equally as great, I think. Most of them, especially the first 3 or 4. After the Faces and after those solo records, I don't know. Rod doesn't do much for me at all. Although I'm always kind of hopeful he'll either reunite with the Faces, which seems kind of sort of ridiculous at this point in life for him. But maybe get him back to writing those kinds of songs or singing those kinds of songs again would be really welcome. So yeah, the Faces. Love the Faces. Love that box set put out quite a while ago, like 10, 15 probably years ago. It was one of the best box sets I've had. Okay, number 4, Talking Heads. Love the Talking Heads. Everybody's favorite seems to be Remain in Light. My favorites are the first one, 77, and the second one, More Songs About Buildings and Food. I love that more frantic, edgy, nervy punk energy that's going on, and really interesting lyrics. I mean, just the title of their second one, More Songs About Buildings and Food, their buildings on fire. I mean, just crazy interesting songs, and really good ones. I mean, I think those records are great. I like Remain in Light. I just don't like it as much as everybody else seems to like it. But I do really love their singles that came later. And She Was, Stay Up Late. Wild Wild Life is probably the one that really got me into them as far as buying their stuff. And last night actually played the album Naked, and really, really enjoyed hearing it. Thanks again, Mazzy, for that. And yeah, Blind sounded great. I've always loved the song Blind. But the album plays through pretty nicely. It sounds great. It sounds really, really good. Okay, number 3 for me is the Flaming Lips. I love the Flaming Lips. I've seen the Flaming Lips several times. For me, the Flaming Lips they're one of those bands, a lot of bands, they have like 3 or 4 killer records in a row, and I think the Flaming Lips are no exception. For me, those records are Transmissions from the Satellite Heart. I first heard them when I moved to Minneapolis. I barely had moved in, got sold some cable package where it came with, I didn't even know what it was at the time, but I think it was DMX. It's like a Muzak service, like radio service like Muzak. And you could choose your channels, and I remember hearing Turn It On over and over on, it must have been like the college or alternative channel, and ended up seeing them on the Lollapalooza 94 side stage. And then I saw them a couple times on the Clouds Taste Metallic tour. Saw them on doing the Boombox parking lot experiment in the parking lot of Dayton's or Macy's or Marshall Fields, depending on the era. I can't remember what it was at that point. Right downtown, close to First Avenue in Minneapolis. And then I saw them like 3 times, I think, on the Soft Bulletin. I love that record. I really love that record. And then also saw them on Yoshimi, and saw them quite a few times, including recently, just a couple years ago, and absolutely loved the show. It was so much fun. But yeah, those 4 for me, but I didn't mention them: Transmissions from a Satellite Heart, Clouds Taste Metallic, the Soft Bulletin, and Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots. Number 2 for me is Radiohead. I used to love Radiohead, and I couldn't imagine a time when I wouldn't listen to Radiohead, but that time has kind of come over the last 5, 6, 7 years. Although I get on kicks. I totally get on kicks. I was going to do a video about Radiohead about 6 months ago because I was listening to Radiohead a lot, so I shouldn't really say that. And I still could do a video on those 3 records I was listening to, which is OK Computer, which is by far my favorite Radiohead album, not Kid A. I like Kid A and I like Amnesiac. I just find it kind of funny how everybody thinks that that's like this great creative breakthrough. Have you listened to OK Computer? Yeah, it's a guitar record, but it's no ordinary guitar record. Listen to that thing. Get out the lyric sheet and sit down with it. I mean, it's an incredible record, and I personally think it runs laps around Kid A. I love Kid A, but it's no OK Computer. News came out today. This is Thursday, March 13th. News came out that Radiohead just formed a new LLC, and Radiohead's doing something. Got to break the news, Pitchfork. But usually that has meant that something is on the way, whether it's an archival thing or maybe possibly a new record, which I would totally welcome. I really liked A Moon-Shaped Pool. I saw them at the Greek Theater in Berkeley on that tour. Oh, it was just magic. It was so good. I really, one of the things I really miss about the Bay Area is seeing shows at the Greek Theater. If you're ever in San Francisco and a show, or Berkeley, East Bank, either one, it's close enough. It doesn't matter. Go to the Greek Theater and see a show. Outdoor, gorgeous, small, really really cool, great experience. But yeah, I would love a new Radiohead record for sure. And number one, it's kind of an honorable mention because I read today, and I've known this was gonna happen, but this is a band that put out a movie and a soundtrack to the movie in 1984, and kind of got everybody talking about it. And everybody still talks about that movie, especially if you're of a certain age, and especially if you're talking about legendary, like, classic bands, classic rock bands, or hair metal hair bands, that whole kind of scene. And so I read today basically that Spinal Tap, the new Spinal Tap movie, is coming out, finally coming out. I think it's coming out in August, if I read that right. So yeah, it's kind of, like I said, it's an honorable mention, but we're tapping into the future, people, and I'm pretty excited that Spinal Tap is having a new movie, which pretty much means it better mean a whole new soundtrack of new songs. I hope it's not like, I mean, actually, I read like the premise was sort of like the reunion tours and sort of making fun of them. But I hope that Spinal Tap has a new record, and maybe that's part of the whole story, that everybody ignores the new record, but maybe it's secretly great. And goes to use the bathroom when they play those songs, and all they want to hear is Stonehenge and Big Bottom. But I'm excited about a new Spinal Tap movie. I'm excited to see what these guys can do. It's been a long time. All the original people are back. I think all of them are due for a hit. You look at like Christopher Guest and all those like Waiting for Guffman movies. Even though it's been a long time since those kind of movies have been out, so I think they're kind of due for something special. And honestly, if they wait this long to do a Spinal Tap movie, I think they know it has to be really, really good, or I don't think they would do it. All of them seem like they've had pretty successful careers and probably don't need it for the money. But yeah, one thing that's kind of concerning to me is I keep reading about all these guest appearances. I don't want Paul McCartney in a Spinal Tap movie. I don't care if he's a Beatle. Like, come on. Like, it's about those guys. Like, sometimes you have too many appearances like that, and it just sort of ruins a movie for you. It's just, I don't know. It's more about the person appearing than it is the movie. So anyway, I'm hopeful. I think it's gonna be awesome. I want it to be great. I'm rooting for these guys. Who doesn't want a new Spinal Tap soundtrack? I mean, I want that bad. Maybe I should go back and listen to Break Like the Wind. Honestly, this is before streaming, before you can just fire it up and listen to it at will. I don't think I didn't put my hard-earned money down for that album, so that's new to me. Maybe there are actually some gems on there. I'm gonna find out. But I am looking, like I said, I'm looking forward to the new Spinal Tap movie. So anyway, list your favorites. I would love to hear the other bands named after body parts that I've missed. You don't have to keep them clean. I kept this fairly clean, but mostly because, Fanny's pretty clean anyway. They almost made my list, by the way. The all girl group from the U.S., originally from the Philippines. They were going to be on the list, but then the other ones, yeah, they're not like anywhere near like a favorite band of mine. But these are 10 I went with. Some of these, yeah, just doing this list has prompted me to want to check out some of these bands again. So yeah, kind of fun. Please leave a comment, and I'll talk to you soon.